Hey guys, and welcome to Let's Play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. This game was released in February of this year, which I guess to all of you watching in the future, this year is 2013. And as far as entries into the Metal Gear series goes, this game is really unlike anything we've ever seen before. I'm a pretty big fan of the original Metal Gear Solid series. 1 and 3 are among just, some of my favorite games in general. And this doesn't quite continue it in the same way. This is Metal Gear Rising, which is kind of your first hint. This is not Metal Gear Solid. It's a spin-off game, and as you may be able to gather from the title sequence, I guess if you've played Metal Gear Solid 2 or 4, we're going to be focusing on Raiden as our main protagonist. So this game is much more action-oriented than stealth-oriented and focuses a lot more on swordplay rather than sneaking around and guns and stuff like that. And it's actually one of my favorite games. It got kind of a lot of heat for being different than the rest of the series, but I think if you come into it with an open mind and really give it a chance, this game can definitely take you by surprise if you were expecting something not so good. So right from the title screen here, we can enter the Konami code, kind of adapted for the PS3, with circle X instead of BA. So if we go up, up, down, down, left, right, circle X, start.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
You can see we get kind of a hint there that we entered it correctly by Raiden saying the title of the game. So let's go ahead and open up a save slot for us here. We can start on the second one if we want. And it's also going to check for downloaded content and tell me that I am able to play the downloadable story. I will go over that, however, obviously it's going to be at the end. We're going to be playing through the main thing first. We got a couple options to sift through, nothing too, groundbreaking here. Vibration, camera inversion, controller configuration. I am going to change the map orientation to map-centered because that's much more like the classic Soliton radar that we've seen before. And I'm also, of course, going to leave the captions, subtitles on just to help out you guys at home. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter story mode here. You can see, again, I can pick the DLC story if I want. Let's just go with the regular. And we've got our difficulty selection. You normally only start out with easy, normal, and hard unlocked. You beat hard to get very hard, beat very hard to get Revengeance. We're going to be playing on hard. Normal is the difficulty I would recommend if this is your first time through. However, as you may have seen by my playtime on the main file, it was like 31 hours, I think. This is not my first time. And I think kind of once you get the hang of things, hard makes it a little bit more fun. So that's what we're going to go with. It's going to ask me to play the tutorial. I'm actually going to, but of course I'll kind of cut out the unneeded parts. This is actually a really good chance to kind of explain the battle system a little bit before we just get thrust into the action. Because once we do, there's not going to be a lot of time for that. So let's go ahead and start the tutorial up. Alright, this is where I'm going to jump in on the tutorial. We're actually pretty close to the end. In terms of offense, we have a couple different attacking options. Light attacks with square, which are faster but weaker. Strong attacks with triangle that are slower but much stronger. You can also see some pretty nifty little combos going on here. Obviously, alternating between light and strong gets you a different kind of variety of attacks. And of course, we also have to have a little bit of defensive options here. Now, parrying is a little bit tricky. We have to push the analog stick in the direction of the attack and press square in order to parry it. And if we do it at just the right moment, we'll also get off the counter attack. So let's see if we can work something out here. Oh, well. I want to get him to do that kind of leaping attack because that's probably the easiest to counter. There we go. And as you can see, that'll get you some prompts, and it'll also kind of stun him for a while. So let's just go ahead and finish this guy off. We'll get in a little bit more about what we can do after counterattacks once the actual action starts. Parrying is very important to master. It's essential to your survival, especially on some boss fights. So maybe a little awkward at first, but definitely get some practice with it. And now we've got a cutscene coming up here, so let's go ahead and watch it.
Years. We've come so far in just 3 short years.
The sign of a strong leader, sir.
No. The will of a strong people. And one very able advisor.
Thank you, sir.
Your team deserves credit as well. Mr. Lightning Bolt?
Just doing our job, Mr. Prime Minister.
I must admit, I once thought of groups like yours as opportunists, enablers of war. But you've trained our new army well. Order has returned sooner than expected. Perhaps I was wrong about these private military companies.
We prefer private security providers, sir. Most of Maverick's contracts do focus on security.
Yes, well, security can mean many things.
There's a saying I like. One sword keeps another in the sheath. Sometimes the threat of violence alone is a deterrent. Sometimes by taking a life, others can be preserved. It's the code the samurai lived by.
A soldier and a philosopher. You are full of surprises, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
I could say the same about you, Mr. Prime Minister.
What is happening?
Someone's blocking the lead vehicle. Hold on.
Clear the road! This is official state business! I said clear the road! We're authorized to use force if you do!
Leopard 1, U-turn. Turning back.
Open fire! Who was that?
A cyborg.
One of our competitors? Courtney, what is happening?
We got hit, sir. A cyborg.
Who's?
EXIF comes up unaffiliated.
I'll notify all checkpoints. Get on money out of there.
Yes, sir.
We are going to die.
Stay calm.
He's got friends on our 12.
Raiden,
I'm on it. Guard the Prime Minister. Let's get this over with.
And we get thrown straight into the action. So now that we've gone over kind of the basics of combat, it's going to give us a little bit of a manual here. What we can do, however, is once we parry, if we hold L1, we can enter blade mode, and we can use this to do horizontal and vertical slices with square and triangle. Or if we get another shot here, oh wow, did not even see that guy. We can also use the right analog stick to do kind of more precise cuts. which it's not really useful in, you know, general circumstances. It's only really good if you actually need to hit very precise areas, which there will be some cases where you do. Otherwise, you can basically just, you know, mash square and triangle and cut these guys apart.
I'll add the limo to your solid down radar.
We've got another bit of combat coming up. We're going to be introduced to guys with guns. We can use Ninja Run by holding R1, and it has a couple different uses. One of which is if these guys, there we go. We can use it, you can kind of see if we get shot with bullets while we're using Ninja Run, he'll just automatically deflect them with your sword. So that's the way you can get around that. Let's go ahead and take some of these guys out. And we can also do attacks while using Ninja Run. We can do kind of rapid slashes here, or if we want, we can use the slide attack, which is pretty helpful later on. We don't really have the full arsenal to kind of take advantage of it right now, but it's definitely a very good move to keep in mind. You can also do different kinds of combos to get blade mode opportunities, so it definitely helps getting lots of practice in with the combat system, so you can learn to kind of maximize, you know, your combos and take out enemies as quickly as possible in some cases. It's going to be a lot of enemies spawning here, so if we want to kind of skip these battles, we can basically just cut through the fence. They will eventually kind of run out of forces, but it might be a good idea, especially on like very hard, to just skip them entirely.
So you're Jack.
What do you want with the Prime Minister?
I want him dead. Nothing personal, of course. Africa's just getting a bit too peaceful.
What?
Business ain't been the same since they shut down SOP. A clean break from the war economy. Huh. Well, some of us like that economy. How's an honest warmonger supposed to make a living?
This is your answer? Don't do it!
Don't worry now, I won't. Not while he's still useful. So long.
And now we get thrown into our first boss fight against Metal Gear Ray. I think Raiden would be used to fighting these things by now, but I guess they're a little bit different from Metal Gear Solid 2. So if we can parry some of his attacks here, we'll get a chance to go into blade mode and start chopping out pieces of his armor. This is the main way we're going to be dealing damage to this guy. Regular strikes don't deal a whole lot, but you know, they're worth trying to get in all the same. The three targets are mainly his two legs and his face, if you can somehow manage to get close enough. You generally don't go for that a lot. We're basically going to be attacking the legs a lot here. So when his leg goes up, he's getting ready to stomp on us. We can parry that and then use that to take out some more armor here and deal a bunch more damage. And then just keep going for the legs. You can kind of do it twice. The first time you go for the legs, you can take out the armor on it, and then the second time you'll actually start taking out the little guns that are on top of it. So you can pretty much do each leg twice, and then you want to move on to the other one. Alright, so now let's take out the gun on this side. Okay, so now I need to remember to focus on the other one. I'm going to jump away a bit here. He does move around a lot. You can also block this, although it doesn't really give you a chance to do anything. So you're probably better off just running under him on that one so you can get some free shots in. Alright, he's pretty far away, which means he's either going to use the cannon, okay, or he's going to charge. That's fine with me. Alright, so now that we parry that, we can get some more shots in. And this one should, I believe, take him down to less than 10%. So it shouldn't need, okay, well, 10.2, you know, close enough. Okay, well, he missed. I guess that's fine. One more blade mode opportunity will take him down. I'm going to just try to pound away on this leg here. He should, there we go, eventually try to stomp me. That'll give us a good chance. Alright, so now that he's down to 0.1%, we can get kind of the finishing section here. Okay, or maybe not. Maybe I have to, like, hit him one more time, because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Okay, here we go.
Very good. But do not rest easy just yet, huh?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why this game is awesome. The spectacle of it is just absolutely incredible. And, you know, I didn't really mention the boss music there, but obviously it kind of has a vocal version and an instrumental version, and it'll switch up at various times, and it's all very, very good, I think. So, you know, it really does a great job with the atmosphere.
There, get him.
Alright, so now that guy, we haven't really been introduced to. Well, we actually saw, like, Raiden's eyes there for a second. That was really kind of weird. But now we can use the ninja run. And this is one thing that was covered in the tutorial that I skipped over because, well, I knew about this section. We can basically just use ninja run to automatically get around obstacles. But wait, we don't want to go after him just yet. You can see we've got this little kind of grating here. We can actually slice this away and then use a sliding attack to get underneath it. And we've got a collectible in here. We can see this is data storage 1 of 20, and yes, I will be collecting all the data storage chips. They're pretty tricky here in the first level, maybe not so bad later on, but you do have to look around for them. Alright, so he's made his way up there. We're going to have to cut our way through. Slide under the pipes, cut our way through again, and it looks like we're reaching the end of the chase here.
There you cheat. It still works?
And of course, Metal Gear Ray is still pretty mad at us. We did kind of cut off one of his arms. So here he comes trying to get at us again. And he's going to charge his plasma cannon at the start, so I like to just try to get in as many shots as I can. He's going to sweep it back and forth, so just jump over the beam. The timing might be something you kind of have to get used to a little bit. And also, the same kind of strategy still applies. We want to parry his attacks. That'll give us a chance to go into blade mode and chop off pieces of his armor, where, of course, we're going to be dealing most of our damage. So it's essentially kind of the same fight, just in a smaller arena and with different attacks. So now that we've done that, he's going to start shooting some missiles at us out of his arm here. And we can use blade mode to cut these to pieces. And they'll sometimes contain health recovery for you, so that's good to look out for. See, we got a couple there. We don't really need it or anything, though. Alright, then we can parry this attack and then take out the gun up top here. And this will, again, do quite a lot of damage. And in this form, the Metal Gear Ray does take quite a lot more, actually, from... Okay, we might have been able to parry that, I'm not sure. But he does take a lot more from just kind of regular attacks. You can see the percentage is going down quite a bit. So let's go ahead and get a good combo in here. Alright, so we brought him down to 10. You know, it won't take too much longer. Okay, it looks like he's backing off. He's going to fire some missiles. This is a good chance to just run around in ninja mode and cut these things apart. They basically all drop health units. So if you need recovery, that would be a good way to get them. Alright, so this time there's no more blade mode stuff to cut, so he's just going to fall down. And this will probably let us finish him off. Yep, there we go.
Finish that bastard off.
So why not? Let's just run on some missiles, cut the other arm off, and now we're going to have to run down this clock tower here, evade the plasma cannon, as well as all the missiles he's firing up at us. This one can be a little bit tricky, and it is actually possible to die. You can fall there. Just avoid the missiles, jump over the beam at the end. And this time, he's definitely down. I think splitting him in half should take care of that. Okay, so we've landed on the train. He's headed for the front, so I've got to chase after him. This is a good time for Ninja Run to make our way through. Pretty neat little environment we're in here. You can see we've got a tilt rotor, which is basically kind of like a type of helicopter, and we need to keep running for the front. You can see our targets are right there. However, this one's also a little bit tricky. We want to stop, just gently walk off, because as soon as you touch the next train car, the scene starts, and you can't go back and get that data storage.
Prime Minister!
Huh. Too little too late, hero. I won't be needing my little shield here any longer.
Stop!
What about all the good things war has done for us? Why don't we ever hear speeches about that? Jobs, technology, a common purpose?
Raiden, forget me. Stop him.
You ain't listening. Mind if I got in? All we're saying, give war a chance! No!
Now we have yet another boss fight on the train with Sam here.
Don't be shy.
Little interesting thing you can do at the start here is if you don't really move or do anything, Sam will just kind of take his time and walk up to you. So I kind of like to do this as a little bit of a dramatic intro here. And he'll just kind of eye you over. Now we're ready to go. So you can see this guy's pretty tough. He's got a lot of attacks that are pretty fast, and even when we parry, we take damage. So that's obviously going to make things quite a bit harder. He's also got this attack.
Mightier than the pen after all.
We're going to just wait for him and then block when he comes down. We're down to 57% already.
Self-taught. And not half bad. Still. Your technique lacks something.
And you can probably already tell this is not your traditional type of boss fight. Number one, by the fact that he doesn't have a health bar. Number two, by the fact that the next phase is triggered by us losing a certain amount of health. So, you know, this is definitely not going well for us. We can't even really get a hit, and he's blocking everything.
Now I see. You deny your weapon its purpose. It yearns to bathe in the blood of your enemies, but you hold it back. No.
My sword is a tool of justice.
Right, are you all right? You're almost clear of the tunnel. Just hang on.
So you can see we're obviously in a very bad state here, near death. Our health is at like 0.1%, and we're just kind of staggering all over the place, blindly flailing at him.
Want to practice first? You gotta try harder than that. Did you want to practice first? This is what happens when you bring a tool to a sword fight. It's over. Lucky devil.
Kept you waiting, huh? Down you go! Flares!
And that does it for our prologue chapter. Of course, as far as the plot is concerned, you know, like I said, this is a prologue, so it's basically just an introduction. We're in this pretty much unnamed Middle Eastern country. I don't think it's ever really mentioned. And we were supposed to be protecting the Prime Minister Unmanned, but those couple of guys showed up with whatever company they're with. We don't really know yet. Killed the Prime Minister, saying something about wanting to bring back the war economy. Of course, that was a big focus in Metal Gear Solid 4, for those of you who hadn't played it, but that's basically all we know up to this point. The details are not really ironed out for us yet, so you can see we get kind of an end-chapter rating here. We get our, tells us what difficulty we're on. We get a combat ranking. Since we got S in both of the fights that were in this chapter, we get an overall S and some bonus BP as well. However, I think this looks like a pretty good place to end it. Next time we will start up the first real file, chapter R01, and that'll get us going in Metal Gear Rising. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.